that we would walk and pick huge bundles of goldenrod and bring them back to school in our sweaters. And Miss Ginder was the queen of the walkers, because I don't think a week went by that we didn't take 2 or 3 walks. The teachers go on after that. Helen Bell, who taught us ceramics.
Irene Bell.
I'm sorry, Irene Bell, who taught us ceramics. Of course, Iris and tell me their names.
Margaret Bigger.
Margaret and
Elise Hooker.
Who taught us silver work. And I think we were probably, if not the last, close to the last class that made our own class rings, and that was a part of the curriculum. But there were all of these people, of course, Dot's husband, Kenny Kane, who taught us shop, and we didn't know it, but he got in a little bit of trouble because we were in first life, which would be the 1st and 2nd grade, and we were using an electric jigsaw, an electric bandsaw, and some parents came in and were absolutely flabbergasted that children of our age would be allowed to use electric power tools. And I remember when the privilege of using electric power tools was taken away, we were all aghast, and we weren't aghast with the issue of liability or something like that. It was that we had absolutely no intention, and we had the best motivation of anybody on the planet not to cut our fingers off, and we couldn't understand why someone would want to protect us from ourselves. But that was something that came up, and Kenny Kane, of course, came to our defense, but he was replaced by an old English gentleman, Mr. Bucknall, who was a man of the old school, and his idea of a good use for pieces of wood was to swat kids on the bottom, which he did regularly, and that was probably good training for the real world, and on probably many occasions we deserved it. But you talk about other teachers that we had, Piney Gaston, who taught us folk dancing and put up with our antics as we went through the 7th, 8th, 9th grades. Mrs. Winberg, who taught here for so many years, and I saw her at a reunion 2 years ago, and I went up to her and I said, "I have to tell you, Ms. Winberg, that, and you probably know this, but I want to apologize for all the years that I called you Ms. Windbag behind your back." And she said, "Oh, I knew that, I knew you did that, and it didn't bother me." And I said, "Well, it's bothered me all these years, and I want to share that with you." And so as I look back on organic school, you know, I've served on the board of directors and was head of the board of directors for a year. And actually at the time that organic was cut from being 12 years to only going through the 6th grade. And I would like to see organic restored to its prior greatness, but there's some difficulties, one of which is money, one of which is leadership, one of which is devotion. It takes a missionary like Marietta Johnson. It takes someone with her vigor, with her idealism, to strap on a task as it would be to resurrect organic school, because organic always had the reputation of give us your truants, give us your juvenile delinquents, and we'll make good students out of them. And that was successful, and it could be accomplished so long as you had a group of organic